Yeah, a chilly morning in Southern Oregon. All of a sudden it turned winter on us. No, let's just go down the road. What I'd like to do, I'd like to take a few minutes here and just review, okay, stuff that we've already been over probably more than once. Start from the beginning. First of all, number uno, forget about winning and losing. Get the young men to forget about winning and losing and just focus on the process and getting your reps. Okay? De-emphasize winning and losing. Second of all, we got to go out safely and run. We got a nice new track at the high school. In fact, we have to kind of make running a part of our lives. I mean, I didn't like to run. I don't know if I can now or not, but anyway, the point is the kids have to be fit. Okay? Third, we need to get comfortable nose to nose with our opponent so that we only have to penetrate 6 inches as opposed to 3 feet or whatever it is. So, and we have to get comfortable in a more of a sumo stance some of the time, because some of the time it is like a sumo match. Okay? So there's the deep square stance. I like the idea of, unless we know the fella we're wrestling or we know something about him, we need to be careful right at the first. I don't have a problem with having the kids come out just in a square stance. Shake hands and get yourself in a deep square stance, square him up, give him a piston to the shoulder, okay? But we gotta get comfortable nose to nose. I watched the group the other night and they were nowhere near comfortable nose to nose. But we have to. See, I've been watching, over the last couple of years, I've been watching the communist kids. And a lot of those kids are upright, more upright than you would see an American wrestler. They take care of their defense with their stance, with their low center of gravity, and the hands in front of them. That's what they do. And hell, if the guy's not threatening us, I don't know why we're worrying about a stance anyway. If he's threatening us, we defend. And if he's not, we go get him. Okay, so where are we? Nose to nose. And we're comfortable there. And we've spent time there in the room. Okay, I would say, honestly, I would say no less than get in a position, 20 times? 20 times in a drill session or something like that. But we need repetition with that penetration business. All right. Next thing is understanding how we penetrate with those 3 or 4 ties that we end up in all the time, or a lot of time, okay? Number 1 is inside bicep tie. We gotta go. If you're on the inside, you should have already done all the work pre-firing off a shot. Okay, that's all squared away. We gotta get through his arms, okay? We go with a clean inside bicep tie on the same arm that I'm attacking with. Remember, all my stuff is inside out singles, or I just call them inside singles. Other people call them a pull by or something, but we all know what it is. All right, we got inside bicep tie. You gotta go. People die for that tie. Okay? Inside bicep tie, we got to go. Inside step, all the stuff we talked about. Second of all, we got a car coming. All right, she gets kind of fired up when cars go by. All right, underhooks. Now we got to go on an underhook. Okay, and again, it's to the same side that I'm attacking. Okay, I'm kind of right hand dominant, so my right hand is my strong hand, so that's what that's all about. All right, and then when we get real good at it, is all we need to be is inside his hands. You know, our hands are in a praying position, and we're just inside him. We're inside his arms. We need to go. We need to get our head to the back of his shoulder, behind his armpit, whatever you want to call it. We got to get our head there. Okay, so inside bicep tie, loose or tight, we got to go. Underhooks, certainly we got to go. And again, once we get real good, every time he touches us, we'll be taking him down. So that's how I feel about that, okay? All right, now don't forget, along with getting through the hand fighting, so we're able to get our head through his arms. At the same time, I take an inside step, and it makes a difference on what we're thinking about. Are we going deep penetration, or are we just going to slide in there and hook the inside of that leg and come out and wrestle singles? Okay, the depth of your inside step is determined by what you want to do. Okay. It might be that you're going to go penetration from the get-go, and so you take the inside step that you feel you're going to need to get your hips in there where they belong. So if we're going penetration, we need a pretty good inside step. If we're just going to use finesse on them, okay? So remember, our hips, our feet, our hips, and our head kind of all move together. They need to move together. That's basically holding your body in position. All right? How to get through those arms. Because all the resistance that we feel from our stance to deep penetration, it's all about everything working together. That's why this is a review. I'm doing a little capsulizing for you guys. Okay. Inside step, depending on what we have in mind. On what we have in mind. Okay? These days, guys and gals, I'm leaning towards taking not a very deep step and doing the finesse thing and hooking that leg and get to that back step, and halfway through your snag or halfway through your inside single, we got to start thinking about back stepping them to the rear end, if that's what the situation calls for. Okay? So, we're going to be doing more singles, without a doubt. Because somebody our own age, weight, and caliber, I don't think we're going to be able to take them down with a Strobel double. Or nowadays they call it a Burroughs double or whatever, but those don't happen very often, and you have to be gifted to do that. You can't be like me or you and be able to do some of that stuff, but, all right? Okay, if we're going double, the number one thing we can't pass up is collapsing the leg that's away from my head, reaching behind deep and hard and just twisting it and collapsing that leg, and he should fall in a bundle of sticks right there. Okay? So, we got to move our puppies. You know, and that's the hardest thing. Again, stream of consciousness. You guys deal with it. Okay, it's about our feet. Getting that head where it belongs. Oh yeah, I remember what we were talking about. If our head gets caught along the way, we're not going to have as good and as clean a penetration as we want. If the top of my head gets caught on his chest somewhere, or gets caught up in his arms. Okay? Bella, get. Chip Kelly, we've said this before, Chip Kelly says win the day. Straight out of Phoenix kids are gonna win the tie. Okay, we have to study the tie. Actually, there's rules that say we have to, continue contact or make contact. Basically tells us we have to tie. So if you ever hear somebody say, get out of the tie, if you hear a coach say, get out of the tie, you might as well pick up your junk food and go home. Because there's no hope. If you don't know how to wrestle out of a tie, you're not going to have much success. Okay? We got to wrestle out of a tie. We got to win that tie. We'll win the tie. Get in position. Stay in position. Be an athlete. See? And you might want to just pull the trigger. This is what Jerry Diller used to say. Just get in there with the position and get what you can. That's what Diller used to say. I think he was one of the first ones to say that double was overrated. Anyway. Jerry, I hope you're okay. I hope this text or this whatever finds you okay. Remember back in the day when you guys used to come down to Phoenix? That was Dad's favoriteest time. All right. Okay, let's think about, we're in on a double. Okay, things have stopped now. We're going to take a snapshot. Okay, let's say I'm just above both knees, holding the best position I can. Again, what I'm going to do is reach around the leg away from my head, reach behind it and collapse it. And he'll go down in a heap. So that's the number one thing that we don't want to pass up. Because when you look at it, it's actually in the flow of things. So, reach behind that knee from the front, reach to the side and behind, get a good grip on it and collapse that leg. And the best way to do it is just how I explained it. You guys should know enough about what the heck's going on, so. See, that's what we used to do at Phoenix. And it's the easiest, it's the first finish that we come, other than picking them up and dumping them on their head, this will be the first thing we come to. If we're going double, if we're not able to get in all the way and pick them up, if we feel that early on, switch to a double. Switch hands if you have to. And the right arm goes across. Oh, sorry guys. Sorry about that. All right. That's in the neutral. And again, do not let the kids get discouraged if they get fought off a couple times. Even if they get fought off for the first 2 rounds. Pretty soon the other kid, if we've done what we're supposed to do, the other kid's not going to be able to stay with us. See, that's one reason why we need to run. So it can be a tool that we use. Get out of there! Tool that we can use to get the kids to forget about winning and losing. Okay? So we collapse them with that outside reach around, and okay, cover them for back, cover them for fall. Okay, that's the number one option. Say we want to go double and we don't get it. We need to be able to back off to that point and not worry about lifting them. Like I said, this is the easiest. Not only is it our first option that we have to, experience. Okay? And remember, repetition is big. In fact, it's the most important thing. After getting the technique right, that is the next thing. All right, listen, I think we've reviewed enough on that. Let's understand position. I can add this right now, and it's in the other one. Listen, I'm having trouble with my production. It won't seem to transfer over to YouTube. I don't know what the deal is, but we're working on it. I got my best guy working on it, so we'll be fine. Okay. The next I just want to mention again is the reasons why we get slimed or funked or whatever you want to call it. When they go behind us, we attempt to penetrate and they go behind us, okay? Again, our weight is probably way too much forward, our momentum is way too much forward, and we're probably out of position. Okay. Uh-oh. Another dog. Way down there. Okay. All right, remember, don't get discouraged. Calmly and carefully get as close to the guy as you can. And when you get the tie you can work with, get your body ready, get your feet ready, and go. Okay? Now listen, I want to talk also. We'll review, come on, Ella, let's go. We reviewed the best practices from the neutral. Let's switch to bottom work. Okay? Bottom work. First of all, again, this is review for you people that have been watching. Okay? For the bottom work. If we know we just can't get up and walk away, and if time is not a factor, we don't have to go anywhere on the whistle. If time is not a factor. Okay? You don't have to go anywhere. It doesn't do us any good to get halfway up, referee blows the whistle, we get halfway up and we get slapped back down again. There's no need for that. If there's no urgent need to get on out of there, protect your position. Absorb the initial pressure that will usually come from a top guy. If time's not a factor, you neutralize his burst with our position, with our body. Okay? Bottom work. And how much weight you need back and how far it has to be back is determined by how tough the kid is on top. If we can stand up and walk away, we will. That's quite obvious. Okay, this is somebody our own age, weight, and caliber. And he's not going to just let us go. He's going to put us under some pressure, let's say. Keep the base as wide as you need to be able to keep yourself upright. Okay? That's how much weight you need back, or how big your base is. If you're getting sloshed all over the mat, you don't have a big enough base. And you're toppling over, basically. What I want and what I teach and coach is you sink back and like a big old stone. You know, in South Africa, they have this thing where if you can pick up this gold bar, you can have it with one hand off the table. Yeah, but the deal is, it's the base is more like a cone, so the base is wider than the top, and there is no way. Coach Thomas's brother got closer than anybody. I remember that. But anyway, that's the same concept. That base is big. That gold bar wasn't going anywhere. See? And it's the same thing with this business. If you don't want to get swished all over the mat and get squeezed and frustrated and hurt and embarrassed, you just keep your weight back, keep a nice big base that you can maintain. Okay? And we maintain it by all those things, knee slides and all that stuff. You can just stay right. You can start with a knee, with a leg in front also. If he's real tough, we would probably even have to start there. Bella, stop. God damn it. Oops. Sorry, everybody. Sorry about that. I thought she saw something. Okay? Don't fly out of there because some coach is saying, get out of there. No. If time's a factor, and if he lets us just stand up and walk away, we'll do it. The stuff I'm teaching you, that you're able to survive the toughest kids in the country on the bottom. And yes, fighting the legs is one of the workshops that's on my YouTube channel. But anyway, that comes in a little later. Okay, but let's keep our weight back and keep that upper, whatever it's called, in a nice cocked position. But you're still doing all the things, you're still having to do all the things that you're supposed to do. Keep your base, hand fight. See? Protect your position. And come up under control on your own terms, unless time is a factor. Okay? In the early years of, I don't know if first was exposed to this business, I think from Joe Kittle up there at OSU. But those beavers that Coach Thomas had, and they were all excellent on the bottom. Dan Hicks, he was super on the bottom, I know that. And I always harken back to that Dan Gable, Larry Owens match. Owens won that match from the bottom. Not only did he win it from the bottom, he controlled the pace of the match from the bottom. It was amazing. That's the most amazing match I've ever seen. Anyway, weight back, hand fight, cross hand fight. Come up under control on your own terms. And it's easier said than done because young wrestlers have, been brought up with, get out of there! Get out of there! I love that one. Or the one I already mentioned, get out of the tie! Get out of the tie! How are you going to take anybody down? You're just hoping and wishing that things work out. I think a good, smooth hip heist, good, strong, quick hip heist is good, but we can't get sucked back. I had one of my kids the other day get sucked back twice. I don't know how he wasn't pinned, but anyway. And when we're in that kind of quasi position, we can't get sucked back, and we can't get cradled. Okay? Those two things. We can't be getting sucked back, and we can't be getting cradled there. I think in the kind of position that we're talking about, I don't think cradles are much of a problem. And then we think about, like I said, either a tough hip heist, tough, strong hip heist, or some good cross-hand fighting, and if nothing else, they'll let you go. Eventually, they'll let you go. if you do a good job on the bottom, they'll just let you go, see? So, but it's all about weight back and is your base big enough? If you're getting toppled over, I call it getting swished around. If you're getting swished around, your base is too small and you probably got it, whatever's happening to you. If you get sucked back, you got too much weight back. So, if you have a good David Vizzini type hip heist, I don't think anybody's going to suck you back there if you're good at it. So, anyway, and that's on the bottom. Okay, and let's move to one more thing. I haven't showed anybody else this just yet, so I might wait until I'm in my living room. But it's about the bottom work and the suck back. Actually, it's a spiral to a suck back. See, and the suck back is part of the blanket ride business. Bella, come on, come. I think we're walking by bear country here. I think that's one area the bears live. I like to hear that dog barking, that's for sure. Okay, I use the spiral like a cradle. I'll blast that spiral, try to catch them. If I don't catch them, it's just 1 point. See? Just like people would do with a cradle. They'll give that cradle a go. No, baby. No, Bella, no. No. You're just visiting. You don't live here. So, I like spiral breakdown to suck back. And if they get away, they get away. But if we're good on the spiral business, by the way, who knows how to beat the spiral every time? It's a question for the next time. How do you calmly, collectively beat a spiral? It's easy. I'll tell you guys at a later date. But beating a hook and beating a spiral are the same thing. It's the same thing, really. And I know how to take care of both of them with ease. And like I said, we'll talk about it again. Bella's on to something. She likes to pretend like she's the great white hunter. Okay? Listen, I'm not, other than what I just told you, that's about all I do on top, or did on top. You know, in a tight waist, you could either be, static on a tight waist, squeeze a guy. If you got the right officials, nobody's going to wrestle. So that's what that is. And I have a unique way of working that spiral breakdown to blanket ride business. Where we used to focus on the top arm, if we're somehow not able to suck him back, we'll take that top arm, trap it and shove it behind him right to the mat. See? That's another thing we used to do. But it's all about getting your weight up on top. See, when I do that push down thing, I'm basically using all my weight. Come on, go baby, nobody's here. Okay? So that's why I haven't shown more on top. I do have a nice bar and half bar. We did a thing at Phoenix called a half bar. And I don't remember seeing that anywhere else. Anyway, I do have a whole series with the arm business. But I just wanted to bring a little direction. I know I get to walking in the orchard here, and so Bella, come on. we're out on the road. I'll have to focus on her, but we can. All right. So that's the business on, for me, for now, that's the business on top. Spiral breakdown, get him to a side or a hip, and halfway through my spiral, I'm looking to hook that top arm and put him right on his back. We got to get the fall there because surprise is part of it. So if we suck somebody to their back, we got to get the fall. Come on, Bella, go. We got to get the fall because we probably won't have a chance to do it again because he'll be obviously alert to it. So, but when I'm at the house in the wrestling room, I'll go over that breakdown to a blanket ride stuff. Okay? But I just wanted to do a review. We went over the neutral, penetration off the neutral, that we're going to wrestle more singles. We should be wrestling more singles. We have a better chance of taking somebody down with a single than on our way to getting a double. Now, if we get to that double and we're able to pick them up, that's a different story. Okay? Remember, we gotta, when we're hanging out or when we're ready to wrestle, we start off in a nice sumo stance until we know what's going on. Because we don't want somebody taking us down right off the bat. So we'll make sure that doesn't happen. All right, I think that's enough for a review today. Again, let's get those subscribers up. We need that number up. And again, I hope I can work this out with my production guy. I don't know. We used to take it right from the filming and put it right up on the old YouTube, but the last couple of days, I've spouted some pretty good stuff, and I'd like to get it up there for you guys. And I'd like to keep the content level up. What I need, if I'm going to work with your person, good girl, I'll just evaluate live scrimmage and communicate back to you guys, whoever it is, one way or another. So, again, that's a review. And I think later on we'll probably go over bars and half bars. All right, guys, thanks again. Tell all your friends about it. Listen, we'll all be at the expo. We'll all be at the expo this weekend. So if you've forgotten, you know where wrestling will be taking place. All right, again, thanks for coming, and hopefully I'll get this thing squared away on my end. All right, my friends, thank you. Bye.